I'm going to show you the basics of how to operate a double action revolver, how to load and unload it, how to fire it, and how to minimize the risk of having some kind of accident. If you're a new gun owner, we need to start by talking about safety. Handling firearms is an inherently dangerous activity. Every time you pick up a gun, you are making life and death decisions. So don't ever let that be far from your mind. But we can mitigate a lot of that risk by following the 4 basic rules of safe gun handling. You might hear these worded in a number of different ways, but here's my summary. Rule 1, treat all guns the same way you would treat a loaded gun. You cannot just ignore the other 3 rules because you believe a gun is unloaded. Number 2, always keep the gun pointed in a safe direction. That means if it were to fire, it's not going to hurt anyone and it's not going to damage anything you cannot afford to replace. Number 3, keep your finger away from the trigger until you are ready to shoot something. And number 4, know what it is you are shooting at and what is behind it. Now, there's a lot more to using a gun safely than just the 4 rules, but if you follow them, you greatly reduce your chance of unintentionally hurting yourself or someone else. Okay, to load the revolver, first you need to open the cylinder. That's this round thing here. You can usually find the cylinder release latch just behind the cylinder and on the left side of the gun. And depending on what model you have, you're either going to slide this latch forward, slide it to the rear, or push it inward. Right now, I am using a Smith & Wesson revolver. With this one, I'm going to slide it forward and hold it there while I pop the cylinder out from the other side and move the gun to my left hand. If you're left-handed, you can use your index finger to release the latch and open the cylinder with your thumb and then hold the gun in your right hand. Either way, now all you have to do is keep the gun pointed downward and use your dominant hand to drop the ammo into the chambers. And I'm using dummy cartridges for this. This is not live ammunition. When you're done, simply close the cylinder and now the gun is ready to be fired. If you want to unload the gun without firing it, just open the cylinder and then turn the gun upside down, dump the ammo into your hand. When you're ready to fire, grab the gun with the web of your dominant hand as high up on the back of the grip as you can possibly get it. Put your index finger up here well away from the trigger and wrap the other fingers around the front of the grip as high up as you can get them. Tuck in your thumb like this. Now you can bring in your non-dominant hand. Wrap the fingers around the front with the top of your index finger touching the bottom of the trigger guard. Tuck in your thumb on top of the other thumb. Now squeeze really tight. You can bring the gun up to eye level and point it at the target. Now you can put your index finger on the trigger and press the trigger to the rear with steady, even pressure without moving the gun, and bang. Congratulations, you've just put a hole in something. Press the trigger again to fire another shot, and you can keep doing that until you have fired all the rounds and you get a click instead of a bang. After you have fired the revolver, you will need to remove the spent shell casings from the cylinder. I just put some empty casings in here to show you how this works. It's just like unloading the gun, but with one little difference. So open the cylinder, transfer it to your non-dominant hand, and turn it upside down, but don't try to catch the casings with your other hand. They're going to be really hot if you just fired the gun, so just let them fall to the ground. Some of them might fall out on their own, but probably not all of them. In this case, I've still got 5 in the cylinder, so you need to use the palm of your hand to hit the ejector rod, and that's going to force out all the other casings. Just like that. Now you can point the muzzle back to the ground and load it up again if you want to keep shooting, or if you're at a shooting range and you're done shooting for now, but you're not ready to put the gun away, just leave the cylinder open